Okay, before we can start getting into Retail Pro, we actually need to install Retail Pro. If you don't have access to the installation CD or the installation files themselves, you can download those installation files from our FTP website. So here's the location of the FTP site. Okay. It is a password protected site, so make sure you use this username and password. So the username is training91 and the password is TR44N exclamation point. Let me go ahead and switch over to my Internet Explorer so I can show you. Okay, so I already have this saved, so let me go to my FTP site right there. I'll go ahead and type in the username and password, TR44N exclamation point. Okay, there's the FTP site. Now, typically, I like to view the FTP site in Windows Explorer. So you can select Page, then open FTP site in Windows Explorer. Okay, you may need to log in again. And there it is. From here, what we recommend is, let me go ahead and minimize those. What we recommend is that you can take these and bring them down to your desktop. Just go ahead and just grab them and drop them and copy them down to your desktop. Make sure to grab the update files as well. Same thing, grab and drop, and then copy it down to your desktop. Okay, as you can see, I've already done that, because it does take a little bit of time to download these files. They're pretty large installation files. For a normal broadband connection, it should take you about 10 minutes or so. Okay, now let's actually install Retail Pro so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and go through the entire installation process, which should take no more than a couple minutes. And if you get bored, you can always fast forward to the end of the training video. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and install Retail Pro, which is to select the image_852. Okay, and then from here, select autorun.exe. Okay, from the installation window here, go ahead and select Retail Pro 8.52, and this will begin the installation process. Okay, go ahead and select Next on the very first dialog window. Put in your name, so I'll just go ahead and put in my name here, and then I'll go ahead and select Next. Okay, very important. By default, Retail Pro will be installed in your largest drive. In my case, this is the C drive, and inside the Retail folder. This is the root folder. You can always change that if you want to install this in a different drive or under a different name, like maybe Retail 2. Okay, you can do that. But I'll go ahead and use the default location. Go ahead and select Next. Okay. On this screen, make sure that you choose to install Retail Pro in demo mode by selecting Demo Setup. Okay, for training purposes, this is a great installation type because it will give you access to all the features and functionality in Retail Pro. The only downside is that each day Retail Pro will, because you're in demo mode, will automatically reset all your inventory quantities to 10. So it doesn't make sense to use demo mode in the real world, but for training purposes, it's more than sufficient. Alright, on this next screen, it's just, you can go ahead and just select the defaults, or keep the defaults, excuse me. These are just areas that will require security login. Go ahead and select Next, and Retail Pro will start installing on your computer. Again, this will probably take about 7, 8, maybe 10 minutes on slower systems. At the very end of the installation process are a few important settings. Okay, so the installation is done. Now when you get this option that asks you if you would like to create a shortcut for your desktop for Retail Pro, go ahead and select Yes. Okay, now it will ask you if you'd like to start the Retail Pro mail server each morning. No, you can select No here. Okay, and rebooting your system. For most systems, especially if you're on Windows XP or Vista, I'm sorry, Windows XP, then you can definitely just say no. There's no need to reboot. Okay, and say OK. Alright, we are done. So that is the installation process, and notice here's our shortcut here. Now, before we launch Retail Pro, let me show you how to apply the most recent updates to the installation of Retail Pro that we just put on our computer. So go ahead and select the update_852 folder that you downloaded from the FTP site. And really the process is quite simple. All you have to do is take these, and we're going to copy it. So go ahead and just select copy. Okay, and then I want you to locate where Retail Pro was installed. In this case, if you remember, Retail Pro was installed on the C drive in the Retail folder. So this is it right here. Okay, so this is where Retail Pro was just installed a few moments ago. So in this location, in the root directory, Retail folder, I want you to paste those update files. And go ahead and overwrite everything that is in there. Okay, just go ahead and say yes to all. And this will overwrite key executables, key programs, and files with the most recent versions. That's updating. That's updating Retail Pro. It's very simple. Unfortunately, it's a manual process, but it is a very simple manual process. This should take only a couple of minutes here. And when we're done here, we'll go ahead and launch Retail Pro, so I can show you some of the initial setup or initial settings that must be established in order to make Retail Pro work each and every time you launch it. Okay, hey, we're done. So we'll go ahead and close the Windows Explorer there, and let's go ahead and launch Retail Pro from your shortcut. Okay. Now, the first time you launch Retail Pro, it's going to ask you a few things. First off, it's going to ask you the workstation number. We'll get into workstation numbers later in the next section of this training course. For now, enter a number between 1 and 99. You choose. You can put in 1, 5, 7. I'm going to put in 99. Okay. Now, what Retail Pro will do is it will update your shortcut down here with that workstation number. So go ahead and select, to yes, update the shortcut, and don't ask me again in the future. Okay. This will actually update your shortcut. Say yes. If I scroll over the shortcut here and go to Properties, just to show you, it actually added, here's the workstation reference here, workstation 99 to my shortcut. Okay. Now, when you get this message, it looks like it's a error message. It isn't. It's basically saying that there are some corrupt files on your system that's preventing me from launching Retail Pro. Would you like me to fix it? And go ahead and just say yes. Okay. Now, from here, you can type in the default username and password, which is always sysadmin. So I went ahead and did that. Go ahead and select OK. Now, you need to enter the location ID. This is also known as the station ID, the station type. For now, go ahead and select the default, which says main. We'll explain what station IDs are in the next section. Okay. So now what it does is it takes you to RProDB, also known as Retail Pro Demo Mode. For now, let's go ahead and keep the defaults. We are going to revisit RProDB in the next section, and I'll explain all the various settings within RProDB. Okay, when you're done, go ahead and select Close. Now you can actually launch or log in to Retail Pro. Oops. Get it in there. Type sysadmin and sysadmin. And then log in. Alright. Now, because we installed Retail Pro in demo mode, you will always get this demo mode confirmation red screen. Always choose demo or run as demo. Very important. You have to choose run as demo. If you choose or forget and choose run as license, you are effectively converting your demo installation into a full licensed version of Retail Pro. What that means is that Retail Pro will check for a license key periodically on your computer, and if it doesn't find it, it's going to basically make your version of Retail Pro, your installation of Retail Pro, unusable. Okay, so go ahead and select Retail Pro as demo. Great. There's Retail Pro. So before we end this discussion, I do want to show you what happens the first time each morning, the first time you go into a module of Retail Pro, such as inventory. Okay, you will get this message, this demo quantity reset screen. Go ahead and always select reset. What this does is, because you're in demo mode, it will reset all your quantities to 10, your inventory quantities to 10 each and every day. Because we don't have any inventory yet, of course there's nothing there, but if there were inventory items here, all the quantities here would be 10, okay, which is fine. I'll go ahead and shut down Retail Pro by selecting the big X on the right upper hand corner here, and then saying yes.